Hello friends, I'm Nukebrush and today we are going to make Imperial air defense platform, the Scorpicore.
Time to go nuclear.
The model came to me already printed. This air defense platform has very few parts, so assembly is not difficult at all. All parts fit together pretty well, and there are grooves on the launch platform for the rockets. Firstly, as usual, I prepared all the parts for assembly and painting. I cleaned up the marks from the 3D supports, installed magnets on movable elements. Since I want to make a 3-color camouflage, I didn't glue some of the elements together. Now we can begin the initial priming. As always, I use Grey Nitro Primer Mr. Surfacer 1000, which is great for identifying defects that need to be corrected before further painting. When dry, the primer fills the necessary printed steps and creates a pleasant, smooth surface. I filled up the errors, which of course were discovered after the primer had dried, with liquid putty Mr. Surfacer 500. After some light sanding, I applied a second coat of base primer. Let's start creating the rusty metal base of the platform. I also want to create shadows in the body and all the movable parts, the launch rails and rockets, so I apply brown primer paint one-shot primer brown oxide. I apply the primer easily, in 1 to 1.5 layers, and only on the lower darkened parts of the model. Now we can apply the base for 3-color camouflage. I start with light colors and in my case it's sand color. So for this purpose I use one-shot primer sand. I apply primer in one layer to the entire model, all movable elements and rockets. It gives a light sandy base which is convenient for working with shadows as well as applying other darker colors. Finally, we can do the camouflage itself. On a light sandy primer, I apply Dunkelgelb paint in one layer. I pay attention to the most protruding and upper places, both on the platform and on the movable elements. After the paint has dried, we can apply masking tape. In my version of camouflage, the light color separates the two darker colors from each other. I apply tape on all elements on the model and on the rockets too. The next color in Camouflage is green, and I use olive chrome paint. This is a calm and at the same time rich green color, and one coat of paint is enough to fully cover the entire platform. I can say that green is the most prominent color of this model, but it creates a solid base and contrast for the other camouflage colors. I chose Choco Brown as the third color for Camouflage. It is a bright brown paint that perfectly complements the two other colors, sand and green, as has been historically proven many times. I decided to make the rocket warheads super contrasting, and therefore apply satin white paint in several layers on them. When the paints have dried, we can remove the camouflage tape and start highlighting the details of the rocket platform. I take a brush and go over all the protruding elements, small rivets, the tops of bolted joints, corners and other edges. Of course, to make a three-color camouflage stand out, we need to use three different paints. For green color, I took Reseda green. I highlight the brown color with brighter hot brown. Sand base will be highlighted with lighter tone of Dunkelgelb. As always, with the help of a brush, we can create additional contrast between light and shadow. This model is relatively small, so there are not so much work with the brush, but the result still will please you. The base colors have been applied, it's time to start painting the details. To create a good base for all metal parts, I use polished metal paint. I use a brush to go over the elements of the rocket guide lift, of the parts of the rockets, and also over the springs of the rocket platform stops. The only thing left unpainted on the model are the launch rails for the rockets, which in theory should also be bare metal. Well, that is easy to fix. It is obvious that the model has no optical elements, no lenses, no headlights, no triplexes. So what details should I pay attention to and how to emphasize them? The answer is simple: use decals. First we coat the entire model with Aqua Gloss Clear varnish. It gives a smooth, glossy base that is easier to apply decals to. I also use modeling chemistry for better adhesion of the decal to the surface. To install decals I use Mark Sether Neo, and for better welding I use Mark Softer Neo. I apply decals both to the body of the rocket's platform and to the rockets themselves to give them more individuality. When the decals have dried and adhere to the model, I use Precision Anti-Shine from AK. After everything is ready, the model needs to be coated with a layer of matte varnish to give necessary protection. The varnish is dried, and now we can start highlighting the jointing using washes. I use Model Chemistry Brown Wash for German Dark Yellow. This color goes well with our 3-color camouflage. I highlighted all metal parts using black wash. Washes are a simple and reliable way to create additional contrast on a model. They help create a shadow effect and at the same time highlight all protruding elements. The wash which I use is on an enamel base and has good fluidity. However, with model printed on a 3D printer, you need to be careful, because if there are also small thresholds left after printing, wash will highlight them. And we don't need it at all. If we still need to fix something, we can always use a synthetic brush dipped in a thinner. And don't forget to apply wash to our rockets. When the work with washes is finished, we can begin to create wear and tear on our model. First, as usual, we make chips. Using a sponge and the light sand color, we create the effect of worn and chipped paint. Such chips, of course, most often appears in places of greater stress from natural wear or damage. Using a brush and the same paint, I combine some of the small chips into a nice webbing. I deliberately did not apply chipping to the rockets, which makes them look more fresh, having recently been placed on the launch platform. On the top of the light chips we apply dark paint chipping, which imitates the effect of rust formed as a result of chipping the paint to bare metal. There may be a few such places, so it is not necessary to apply dark paint to all light chips, only the largest ones or in those places that need to be emphasized. The last stage is weathering and aging of the model. This time I didn't use pigments or dirt and limited myself to just rust and oil streaks. There are only a few such places of streaks and leaks on the model, so the finish line is already close. The final layer of varnish, and voila, the rocket platform is ready to defend the sky. If you liked the video, feel free to comment, like and share it. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Good luck with your models and see you soon!